Welcome to I Love You So Much. My name is Reed Fish. I'm here with my good friend Tyler Labine.
Hi, everybody.
And we're two divorced dads getting better. It's confession time. We always start with confessions. I do want to say hello to Ian Fidance. Thank you so much for being in here today.
Hi, great to meet you. You come highly recommended in my circle of friends.
Oh, yeah? Wonderful.
Yeah. Good. We'll talk about your circle of friends.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, and Tyler, I think you want to start off with a confession?
It's kind of basic, but it's indicative of a bigger thing. I was on vacation with my family just now. We were in Toronto. And we were leaving the house in Toronto. It's fucking steaming hot. It's like 105 degrees, 80% humidity. My kids we're all slathered in sunscreen. It's taken an hour and 45 minutes to get everyone out of the house. We're all in a big line. We get out. I got the one bottle of water because no one will fill their water bottles, even though I've asked them to a dozen times. It's just me with water bottles. We walk down the street. My little guy, Leaf, is like, Daddy, can I have a sip of water? I'm like, yeah. Give it to him. He takes off the cap, drinks it, and then goes and spits the water back into the thing because he's like, it made my throat feel funny. And I turned around and I was like, why would you do that? Why would you spit it? You could have spit it anywhere other than in the one water bottle we have. Why did you spit it in there? And he was just like, I was choking. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go back and fill the water bottle. And he's just standing there and they're all still kind of walking away. And he just stands there and I go back to the house. And I didn't even refill the water bottle. I just put it on the stairs and I went back and I hugged him. I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry you were choking and you didn't know what to do. And it's just a water bottle. And I'm really sorry I yelled at you. And he was like, yeah, because, I was choking, Daddy. I was like, yeah, I know. And it was just that moment of like, I heard my dad. Like, I really heard my dad. Like, think about things before you do them. Like, that's such a stupid thing to do. Why wouldn't you just think?
Right.
And I didn't say those words, but it was the same vibe of like, what were you doing? And it bummed me out. And then I like really wanted to make it up to my kid and like, hugged him and held his hand the whole way there. And we have this little code where 3 squeezes means I love you. And he squeezes back, I love you too. Yeah. and we do it all the time. And he's doing it to me all the time. And we're just doing it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And he's just my little sweetie, And
how old is he?
He's 8. So, So like yelling at an 8-year-old, ruining my water supply, even though we're in the middle of Toronto. Pretty sure we can procure water anywhere.
Yeah.
It's Canada, so there's clean water sources everywhere.
Right.
You can drink the puddles in Canada. So that happened, and I just felt like a real piece of shit. And I just wanted to cop to it and say that... I'm sorry, Leaf. Not that he's ever going to watch this.
No.
I'm sorry to all the Leafs out there.
All right.
That's his name, by the way.
Okay, I got one, and then Ian, we're hoping you got to have one, so you have a little bit to think
mandatory,
about.
Where I yell at a child and feel bad about it? Where do I start with my list? I'm not allowed since I've been out here.
All of them. Get them all out here, man.
Well, this last weekend on Saturday, I went with my friend Jessica, and we went out to a comedy show. We went to see Ian, actually. Yeah, and I'm wearing the T-shirt here for all the viewers here. And I don't know. I don't want to be too fawning, but it was very good.
Yeah, you've been very effusive about it.
It was very, very good. And I haven't actually been out to see a lot of comedy. I mean, I'll watch it on specials and stuff, but we live in a small town. There's not like a lot of comedy around. And part of the convention, my friend Jessica was like not into going. And because I was like, no, we're going to see this guy, Ian Fidance. I've never like seen a set, but like he comes so highly recommended by Tiny Legends. They love this guy. And she saw a couple clips online and she kind of told me later, she was like, yeah, I wasn't into it. I was kind of dreading that. And we go to the show and she's just blown away. Yeah. We're both blown away. It was so good. And afterwards we go out to dinner. Jessica, not in a very loving way. And I don't want to say she was taking me to task. A little bit she was taking me to task because we were talking about what resonated to us with Ian's set. And it was like the fact that you could go so deep and that you really displayed your humanity. And like she said, Reed, you've created this venue with your podcast where you can do that and you kind of still stay on the surface.
Oh shit! I didn't know where you were going with this.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I cupped you emotionally with my creativity and candor.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I've been very clear about that. I say, I don't like to reflect. I'm a surface guy. all this stuff. And she's like kind of saying like, you really have an opportunity to go deep into yourself and get to know yourself.
It was
and
your
why
idea.
Don't you? Yeah, it was my idea. Yeah. And so I guess I'm confessing that I haven't done that.
Whoa.
But the restitution for that, it's like, I don't know how to do it, and part of it is I don't know what's there if I go deep down.
Well, that's part of the fear, probably, right? Yeah. What if you're just shallow?
Yeah, and that could be the thing.
No, I mean we're all afraid of that, right? What if there's not much to uncover? You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm like nice and funny, and that's exactly.
But you're not, and I can tell you that just from knowing you the way I do. Like you're a deep person who has a lot to offer. So I feel like
but I feel like maybe I can be like deep when talking about other people's stuff. Like I don't know, but I don't know what's down there for me. I mean, I don't. I feel like it's really important to me to connect with people, and I think like if you stay surface, you can't really connect. So I know I can go deep. I just don't know. Like Jessica's a person who goes really deep, and so I don't know if I can ever get to where she's gone. But
that's so interesting because you are a very connected human being. Like when that's the way we met, the way we became friends, is that I was like, oh, that guy's like, you're real.
Yeah.
But you do toe the line. Like you're so invested in connection, but you also have that. A healthy fear of like, if you get too connected to me, am I still going to want to stay connected to you?
Yeah.
Or
because I might be. Well, I might be shitty. If I look down in there, I might be shitty.
I think you'll find that the people that are hanging out with you probably know more about you already than you think they do.
Okay.
Like that's one thing I've come to terms with. Is like you think you're fooling everybody all the time, and you're not. You're not really fooling anybody. People kind of get you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think, and people really appreciate you hitting them with your authenticity and hitting them head on.
Yeah.
In a way that I think is like very valued as a friend. So
well, thanks, man.
I say go for it, man.
All right. Well, I'll try. I mean, so I guess I'm saying I'll try to go deeper.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You've cried like 5 times on the show.
Crying.
Like the first thing you did on the show was cry. We were like, oh.
Well, but crying doesn't mean you're going deep. It just means you cry easily.
Yeah. Also, crying can be like a bit of like a mechanism that happens because you're like getting too close to a thing.
You're right.
Right. And it's a shield. Like if I cry, then they're not going to want to get in deeper. They're going to be like,
sure, you're okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's a good confession.
Oh, cool.
Thanks for sharing that.
Ian?
Yeah, that beats the shit out of my confession.
Oh, good. I want to beat you at something.
Confess, I feel horrible. I was late. I played tennis the other day at 8 a.m. and I got hit by a car years ago, and I slipped my L4, L5, and separated my sacrum from my pelvis, and so like sometimes my back acts up. And I played tennis the other day, and I went so hard to like beat my friend that he thought he was better than me at tennis, and then I was better than him, and then I have on video recording him being like, dude, do you really think you're better than me at tennis? Like, he had a complete crash out, and I sent it to our group chat. I was so happy. But then yesterday and this morning, I woke up like back spasming and all this pain. And this morning, I love being in LA because I wake up so early and I get all this stuff done. And then today, I woke up at 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, and then 9:30, just like in pain. I was like, just lay down and like do like just bed rest it. Don't get up and do your little workouts, And I didn't fucking set an alarm, and I woke up at fucking noon in a panic and just bed here, and I feel so bad that I made everyone late. Is that the confession?
Yeah, for sure.
When along the line did this become part of the speeding here?
I had this in the fridge earlier from here. Okay. I had this saving here, but also, I'll confess, I only care about my time and no one else's. Okay, I'm a selfish piece of shit. I stopped off and got a massage on the way here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the confession list.
Yeah,
the laundry list.
I know.
I'm busting your chops. Everybody comes in here with a giant fucking King can of Coke Zero.
Well, I told Stella, I was like, I was so like out of it. I lost my keys in my car. I have my window down right now because I don't know where the key fob is. It's somewhere in the car.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
but that's a good place to lose your keys.
Oh, thank God.
Because the car probably can start. I'm like,
but also these little short shorts only have 2 pockets, so I just cram everything in there, and I'm just like walking around.
The short shorts are kind of useless, man.
I know.
You know, like
I know.
This company has little zipper pockets inside the pockets.
Kill Crew, you gotta get on it. We need zipper pockets.
Yeah. 10,000.
So have you guys been waiting for shorts to come back? Like, did you never like long shorts? Or
I did like long shorts. For a long
never
time.
liked long. I never liked baggy. When everyone was in the baggy, I've always been like a tight jean guy. And now like baggy is back, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I've always liked tighter fitting stuff because it makes me feel as like a little guy. Like it's like an optical illusion, I guess.
Well, see, bigger guy.
Yeah.
And it used to be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, baggy was the way, man. And then I started working on the Canons, and I was like, it just happens
Dude,
to be.
I've never seen someone who only does leg day.
Yeah, it's it. I literally never skip leg day.
Oh my God.
But
No,
once I started realizing how good and how like my mobility changed in short shorts, but also like I said, like 5 years ago, I was like, I look good. These are good. I like these. And people always have fucking comments about like, oh, you really got some short shorts on. I'm like, fuck yeah, I got short shorts on. And I keep waiting for it to, every summer. I'm like, this is the summer of the short shorts.
I just dress, act, and feel as if like it's still 1991.
Yeah,
and that's like
I dig it.
all I ever wanted to.
Yeah.
you know.
I definitely place you in the
part of.
89 to 91
Yeah,
era.
I'm living in an era wherever my dad was still alive. So
Right.
up to 93, that's where my fashion and my sports knowledge goes. And then after that, that's like the New Testament of like the Old Testament's way better.
I have a book. I have like a coffee table book that says "Dads are the OG hipsters," and it's like pictures from like 60s, 70s, and just dads who didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
wearing the little shorts they bought at a garage sale or whatever, like a tank. And it's like it's true, man.
Every dad in Ojai with like their vintage Land Cruiser looks exactly like my dad in 1985.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
a little more cultivated though. It's a little more curated.
Yeah.
there's like everyone's got their Stanley and their fucking.
Well, I just dress for the
Carhartt.
job I don't want.
Yeah.
Being a dad.
Just being a dad. You say
Yeah. Well, you don't want to be a dad? Because I
kinda-
feel like you brought it up in your set.
Yeah, I'm kind of at this. Oh, and that was very nice of you to say what you said about my stand-up.
I'm not kidding.
Felt
He was
really nice.
effusive about your set this morning.
That's
He's like, he's
very,
brilliant.
very kind of you.
brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, because as a stand-up, I get my head about that. Like, what is the deeper meaning of this laugh? Like, what is this thing that I'm saying? Like, I don't want to just be surface. I oscillate between wanting to just be on surface. Like, I admire comics that hide behind jokes or just observational humor, but I'm like so self-absorbed that I can only like dissect myself and like the world as I see it through my like fucked up lens. And so like I'm always trying to go deeper and so the fact that like resonates is like very, very nice and wonderful to hear. So thank you. But what were we saying?
Kids. Well, masculinity and kids and all the things that in your set.
I'm like at this point where I'm like, I think I would rather be a stepfather than like I could see myself coming in and like taking care of a kid as long as like birth to like 5 or 6 is already done.
Yeah.
But or like transition to grandfather.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I could be a stepdad or a pop.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could be like a.
I don't know how that happens
through
if you don't have
pregnancy,
kids, though.
birth.
Yeah.
Like it just like all my
it's-
friends just lose so much sleep and it's just so much and like the stress and I admire you guys so much for being able to do that, but I just
Well, but
I just
it
don't
absolutely
know.
has. That's one of the reasons I'm like, oh, I don't really go see comedy. Well, because I feel like I've been to the movies twice in the last 10 years. I got one 10-year-old, and it's just like, and since I split up with my ex, I've had more time to be able to go out and do those things. It's not a time suck because you're like, no, this is super important, and I'm super glad to do it. But you do sacrifice a lot of other stuff for sure.
Yeah, my partner moved here from New York to Ojai and stepped into being a bonus adult for 3 children between the ages of 8 and 14. Like she is like, kudos
I
to her.
admire
Man.
people. I admire
And she never wanted to have kids either.
step-parents
She like
so
chose,
much.
not to have
because
kids.
in order to come into someone's life and deal with all of that, like for better or worse, like baggage that exists with this situation, like to come in and handle that and shoulder that and be like a good person and like loving step. I admire that so much.
Well, and to still like put effort into our relationship and not just get like totally bogged down and overwhelmed with like, I didn't sign up for this because she didn't really know what she was signing up for. She just met a guy and she fell in love and then it was like, hey, I have 3 kids. And we like, I told her like 2 years into the relationship that I had kids. And she was like, oh. Yeah, I was like, and you're going to move in. And she like chose very conscientiously to not have children. So it's like a huge ordeal, man. I have to think about that every day. If we get into any little quibble about anything, I'm like, oh my God, look at how much you're navigating right now. Like I have to have nothing but grace for you.
Yeah.
Because that's tricky.
Yeah,
man.
that's it. Yeah.
Oh,
To balance all of that physically, mentally. Yeah, she's
I had a
superhero.
stepdad and I was such a fucking jerk, but it's like it was such a crazy situation to like happen and everything. So it's like I in hindsight now I think that's what makes me appreciate good step parents is because I was not kind to him when I was like a kid, and then as an adult I can see now like what it took for him to like step into this role and everything. And I didn't make it easy. So for people I mean, they got divorced and everything.
How old were you when
I
you
think
stepped in?
I was a part of that. But my dad died when I was 8, and then he was, I think three years later. Yeah, I was like 11 when they started.
That's a tricky
seeing
age.
each other. Yeah.
Oh, and especially if your dad dies, it's not like
Yeah. It wasn't like
divorce,
an amicable thing. It was like,
Yeah.
and like baseball and being together and like camping and everything was such a part of our father-son relationship. And like, God bless my mom, but she, like, our first interaction, my mom was like, why don't you take him to the park that him and his dad would go play at every day and have a catch with him? And I was like, even then I was
Meta
like,
bonding.
Mom, what the fuck are you doing? You know? Yeah. God
I mean,
bless
not
my mom,
hardcore
man,
like your mom was, but that's like that's a lot for an
yeah.
11-year-old to absorb.
Yeah,
man. Holy
yeah.
shit.
Oh, yeah. So then they got divorced.
Well, they got married, and they didn't tell me they got married because my mom wanted the whole time to show that like nothing will change, like everything is still normal. So they got like married at the courthouse behind my back, and I was like, that won't do damage, you know. And then they ended up like getting divorced when I was in. But dude, my mom's such a badass. Like she basically married this guy because we were going in the poorhouse from like all our medication stuff because we didn't have insurance. And so she married a guy that worked for the state so we could get state covered insurance. And so my mom like legit ended up in some like crazy, like legitimate, literal friends with benefits situation with this guy.
Right.
You think she actively like she did that just
Yeah.
to get, wow, fuck
And I think they had like an agreement, but he never lived with us. And when he did, he lived in the basement. And like, I certainly was not easy with it, you know, like I had a very, very fucked up view of things, you know, and like at 11 was like flipping out, like he is not allowed to sleep in my father's bed. And it's hey, Oedipus, what's up?
Well, but I don't think that's fucked up. That's not like I'm an 11-year-old. Like for you to like,
it was just, well, dude, I had such a fucked up thing of like, I always had this secret like fantasy and hope that like he didn't die, he just needed like a break, and then he was still out there and he was going to come home. So my thing was like, I was like a psycho. I was like, he's going to come home and see you with another man. How dare you? And my mom had to just
like,
be
you would say that shit to her?
Oh yeah.
How did she deal with that?
I mean, she had a really good backhand. That really helped out a lot. That's why I think like in hindsight, I'm so like gung ho for like step parents and like sticking around, and you know, like my mom and I have obviously gotten past it, but you know, it was like jarring, and I just like didn't understand or like accept things. Like I always just, even when I was like in my 20s, I would walk around drunk and like look at people and like freak out, and, like think like some guy, like I would like look for my dad's faces because I had this thing deep inside of me, like maybe he's not dead. Maybe like I was so annoying.
Man, what a
to,
thing
like,
to, oh God, what a double whammy, man. So you were like, the onus was on you to some degree. Like you thought maybe I was too much for him, and you were still holding on to the idea that your dead dad was alive.
Yeah.
That's a fucking head full of shit right there, man.
Yeah.
Are you in therapy? Have you been in therapy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you, let me ask you this. Me too, tons. Did you, for me, the recognition and the realization that I had trauma, like a significant amount of trauma, didn't really occur to me until I was like 32 years old.
No.
Like I just thought, oh, this is just the way you grow up. And like,
I will never forget. I was dating this girl. I was like 31, and we'd been together for like a while, and then like I told her like, oh well, like my dad's dead, because I would like never tell anyone, and I told her about it and what happened. She was like, that's like deeply traumatic. And I was like, what?
Fuck you, man.
Traumatic? What does that word mean? And I was like, I never thought of it that way.
I had a therapist who just was like, you realize that you have PTSD, right? And I was like, shut the fuck up.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what are
yeah,
you talking
yeah.
about, PTSD?
Yeah, like
and
that
then
would
went,
piss me off when they'd put that on me.
But then she like laundry list of all the things I told her, and I was like, oh, fuck. You know, and it's all relative. Like it's not it's no competition. But like for me, my unique experience was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. So I was asking you, like, if you'd walk through a lot of your life kind of just being like, I don't know, man. And then in hindsight, you're like, whoa.
I mean, my dad died in like a massively like horrifically tragic way. He worked for a train company, and he died at work. And so that in and of itself was like so jarring. And so like I had to learn, I was 8, so whenever I got upset, every adult around me got upset. So I was like, oh, I'm making people sad.
Yeah.
Don't be sad. And then like my mom, God bless her, I would get like sad. And she'd be like, "You're being weird. Stop being weird."
Right.
So then it was like all these things. So it was, dude, we'd like never talked. We'd talk about my dad, like, oh, this story or whatever, but we never talked about like the day or like what happened. Like the first time we ever talked about even my mom's point of view from that day was like Christmas 2019.
Oh, wow.
And he died in 93. So it was just like this thing of like, you know, and anytime it would come up, it was always buttoned with like, we're very lucky. It could be worse. It could be so much worse. Like my mom's favorite phrase was like, "Well, at least he died quick." And it was like, yeah. That's a way to
We
look
win.
at it. Yeah.
We won.
Things are good. You know?
Man.
So it's like I didn't understand what any of that was, and I didn't know like what trauma responses were, and I just knew like, whoa, it's I guess everyone just has these like anger blow-ups and no one wants to be around them.
Me too.
Like,
I just thought this is just the way the human experience goes. You know, like you just have these feelings and like I
think
can't change
everybody
any of this
just
shit.
can't have sleepovers because they wake up screaming in the middle of the night. Their mom has to pick them up.
Yeah.
That's normal, right?
Yeah. Well, for me it was. Yeah. It sounds like we were maybe had a similar.
So you just
experience.
like, it's just as if, and it's almost like I kind of liked that way better because I never wanted anyone to feel sorry for me. That's why I like wouldn't tell people about my dad because I didn't want people to look at me different. And then like, you know, the whole therapy of like, that's traumatic, this and that. Like I really resisted that for a while because it felt like this very like, feel sorry for yourself type of way. But like my therapy evolution has been, because I've been in and out and everything. And like when I was in grade school, I was like Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting. Like I would not talk about anything. Like when he was like talking about like the club and everything. Like one time I went to therapy and I put a bunch of dots on my arm and I was like, I'm on heroin. And I was in like 7th grade just to like make them be like, I can't
to
deal
talk
with
about
this.
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
funny when someone starts needling into a thing that you've built a ton of fucking mechanisms around,
Yeah.
right? Like you, maybe unbeknownst to you,
Yeah.
like you just have built up all these little things, these little tricks, to like, and then someone that you're paying, starts fucking boring in.
That's why like alcohol was like such a gift because
You're a sober guy, or me
so
too.
I'm 10 years sober,
Right.
and so
We
like
talked.
it gave me this permission slip to feel in a way that I'd never felt before, you know, because I'd been hiding all this stuff. So like alcohol in a way like saved me, you know, because I just didn't know what to do. And then alcohol made me be like, oh, fuck, breathe, talk to him in the woods, like this, that, the other. Everything I was like hiding like would come out when I was drinking.
What do they say? Magic to medication to misery.
Is that?
That's the like the common loop. You went with alcohol, like holy shit, this is magic, and then it's like I need it because I need my medicine, and then you're like holy fuck, I'm miserable.
Oh yeah, and then you're like the medicine doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, there's no medicine, there's no magic either.
Maybe I
It's
should
just
snort the medicine.
Yeah, exactly. There's other forms of medicine, right?
Yeah. I'll suck you to get the medicine.
But everybody does that. That's what we're saying, right? That's normal.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I was there.
But yeah, I say all that long convoluted thing to like I've had many iterations of like therapy, and it has helped me, but I have to stop after a while because a lot of times it just becomes like, yep, and this week that's what happened.
Like when because cognitive behavior, like you just start. I hit a wall with that too, and I went into other forms like EMDR and somatic therapy and like NET and
EMDR.
shit.
Everyone I talked to was like, "This is the craziest thing
Have
I've
you tried
ever
it?
been a part of." No, it was suggested, and I was like, "No."
We just had my EMDR therapist on.
Yeah.
here
Really?
A few
Yeah,
weeks
two-
ago.
yeah.
Dude, that scares me with
Oh,
how
no,
Last week's
dude,
episode
act
is
about it. They're like, I have to recover for 2 days, and I'm like,
It can be intense.
Well, I have to be in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I don't have time.
I don't know who's saying that though. Like that, they may be kind
Dramatic
of
comics?
sensationalizing it a little bit. Yeah, but dramatic comics maybe because I did it for like a year, and you know we went through some heavy shit, and like usually the feeling of like elation or sort of feeling like lighter, you know, from,
Interesting.
and more. What do we say? Like the files are a little less hotly colored, you know, in the filing cabinet.
But you did it over Zoom, right? You can do it over Zoom, so you can do it from Fort Wayne.
There you go. No excuses, man.
I don't like what you're saying.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about
You mean I can do things and not have excuses? Fuck you.
I know.
This is an intervention, actually.
I make those excuses all the time. I love excuses.
Yeah.
It's
best.
great.
Oh, nothing feels better than excusing rather than doing.
Oh, God.
Or complaining rather than working.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels good.
No, that's really true, actually.
Yeah. You love procrastinating.
Oh.
All right. I want to segue into. He's put himself on blast with that many times. So you were saying in our text thread and this morning, I think that like one of the really fascinating things about your set is your unique masculinity. And this show is a lot about masculinity. We talk a lot about like toxic masculinity. Masculinity is kind of a fucking hot button term right now. And I didn't really want you to elaborate on that because I wanted to give you a chance to talk about like, or you to talk more about what you meant by that and like how your masculinity or your particular brand of masculinity is so impressive.
Well, part of it is I think you like look a certain way and you have like and the vibe, the thing is like the pre-show music was all like metal. Right. And I get that from you. Like, oh, you're a metal guy, whatever. And so it's like, that is not
hardcore.
Hardcore. Yeah. Sorry.
Shut up.
That's an important distinction.
Yeah. Well, that kind of stuff is not something I associate like with like queer or, bisexual or any of that. So, and that could just be my own overlooking of that subculture. Right. And so
accurate.
I don't know. It's just like, to me, you kind of like, when I first saw you, I thought, oh, well, that's a straight guy.
Yeah.
And then like, which is how I think about people. No, I don't. But, I think to peel back the onion and see all the stuff that is within you and that you are, is like fascinating given the container you come in, the physical container you come in.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, also, I love the fact, Jessica, right?
Yeah.
I love the fact that she was like, this is not my thing.
Yeah.
And then she walked away and was like, I love that. Like, that's my favorite thing, is being like underestimated, or someone being like, I'm not going to like this. And then they end up doing it once they like allow themselves to open their mind rather than get rid of a preconceived notion of what they think things should be.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of my favorite things I've come into myself about, is like, I love playing. I tour like 45 weekends of the year, and I'm like everywhere, and I play these different towns and these places, and like LA and Portland and New York and Fort Wayne, Indiana, and like Greenville, North Carolina, and everything. And I want to never have to change my act to fit with those people.
Right, not pandering to the locals.
Yeah. My favorite thing is when I play a Midwest town and everybody loves me, and then I reveal who I really am, and then they get prickly, and I go, oh, there's something inside of you that doesn't like who I am, now that I've really told you who I am and what I'm about. And then I love playing the coastal cities where they think I'm a straight, like dickhead or whatever, and then I reveal like, no, actually this is who I am, and then they like me,
right,
and I go, well, that plays on the fact that you were judging me because you didn't know my sexuality, as if that gives me now a pass to be a better person, so like I love playing with those little things. I don't know, I mean, it's I come from a background of like violence and abuse and trauma is the key word, and like that music was such an outlet, and like that music raised me with, like how it, spoke about like being a man and everything. And like the man to being a man was always like having your friends back and like standing up for what's right. Like that's a big tenet of that type of music. But it's funny because like the crowds that I attract and the people that go to those shows are very like, I mean, they look like psychotic criminals, and then they'll corner me and be like, you make me feel better about loving trans women. Good.
Yeah.
It's impactful shit, man.
Yeah, but also like I like the idea of being like, I never want you to know what I'm thinking or where I'm going to come from. And I've gotten shit from that community too, being like, well, he's a queer punk guy, he should think and feel this way, why does he not like this? And I'm like, because I'll never like and think the way you think I should. And that's that. Fuck you.
Is that like carefully cultivated by you, or is it just naturally the way you
just naturally
exist?
The way I've always been. Like I've never been, I've never liked being told what to do, or maybe it's like oppositional defiance disorder or whatever. But like, I remember my mom would be like, you need to call your grandmother and blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, no, I'm not going to. I want to call her when I want to, but I'm not going, because it's not real if I do it when you tell me to do it. And that was like a huge thing with my mom, was like me never doing anything unless I wanted to do it. I don't know. I just love being able to play with people's perceptions and ideas. And like, sometimes I'll wear a dress on stage and like not be like, well, I'm identify as, it's like, no, I'm a fucking dude in a dress. Like that's all it is. That's all it is. And whatever you're tinkering around in your head is fucking wrong.
Right.
And I don't know. I like it. And I think in terms of like what you're saying about masculinity, like I came up always being the sensitive one and like the very like not effeminate, but just as I like just throw my hands around. I almost fucking hit you in the goddamn face with my little fingers. But ow. I'm masculine. I don't know. I hate the idea of what masculinity is and should be, and like this. I've never fallen into a category of what people think X, Y, and Z should be, and I don't want to, and I want other people to feel okay with that too. And like I just need more people to be fucking real motherfuckers and not act how they think they should act based on a certain box of what society says they should be.
Yeah, and I mean that's what your whole set is. I mean it is just undeniably you.
Yeah.
Right? And that's like in a way that I don't think a lot of comics actually are, because they are hiding behind the jokes or they are, you know, whatever. I'm like, oh man, I know Ian now. Like I feel like, like we're old friends. I mean, you don't know me, but like I know you, and I know a lot of your deepest, darkest now.
Yeah.
It feels like,
Yeah. Well, I feel like if I bleed everything out, like I have nothing to hide, because we're only as sick as our secrets, and I've always been bad at like hiding things and stuff. So I'm like, all right, well, if I just vomit everything out, then I guess I'm good. I don't know.
Like I spent a lot of my life being like the friend that was like the open book, like I'm the id, the wild card, you just say whatever the fuck. But that was an act that was cultivated by me to keep people from looking at one or two things that I just would never say. I know you're putting it all on Front Street. Do you feel like genuinely it is all on Front Street, or is any of this kind of a distraction from some of your real pains or your fears, or like, because you can be loud and brash and say all your truths, but maybe not all of them.
Well, I mean, I feel like, I try to be as authentic as possible. When I'm up there, I'm obviously a caricature or like a heightened version of myself. And I'm like, it's so funny. Whenever I do podcasts here, I get so much love from people. Like I've never seen the side of Ian before. Like he's always just loud and I'll just leave it at loud. Like, just loud, but he can be serious and like introspective. And I'm like, whoa, like I love that part of me, but I don't always give that out to the world. And like, I also, like in my personal life, I am pretty like reserved and like different than I am on stage. Like I'm still like a weirdo, but I'm very much kind of like more meek in my personal life than so like I do heighten certain things, but I examine it a lot. I'm like, am I hiding? Like what if am I like, is there something deeper? And like that's like the thing with my therapist now, is like, what like I don't know, and I think I'm trying to be as like truthful and
and you're a performer, right? So the
possible.
lines are even blurred there. Like you need to entertain still, right? So it's like we've talked about that on the show. Like I had a confession one week where I was like, I think I'm kind of bullshit on the show, and I said I wouldn't be bullshit because I overstepped and I said some things I shouldn't have said, and everyone's like, well, you still have to
amping up stories just
stories because it's like, well,
it makes a better story.
You're trying to sell a product.
The core truth is there, and so
you're your product. You're selling you.
But I think it's interesting that you say, people say I can be serious on a podcast, and it's like, man, to me, like you're exact same, because up there, you got more energy than you're bringing right now, but it's all the same stuff. And I think to see what you're saying on stage, I understand implicitly that you are a serious person who is self-reflective, because you can't say that shit up there if you aren't. So to me, I guess it's the two sides of the same coin. I don't know. It's like, it doesn't surprise me.
Different presentation of the same product, but like, not to keep calling you a product. You're like, I'm such an actor. Like, you're selling you, right? You're the product, man. You're the package.
I wanted to say, as the producer and someone who sees so many comics every week, like there's a reason why I always bring you back, is because like there's many, especially male comics that have what you have on stage and then still do it in front of me or on a podcast.
Right, they keep the facade.
I appreciate that. It's funny though, because so many people are like, whatever, like I'll get hate like about like thinking I'm putting on something or trying, and I'm like, no, I'm just trying to be as like authentically me as possible, for better or worse, thorns and roses, and like, dude, my dad, before he left for work every day, he'd write me like a note on a yellow legal pad, and I have stacks of these letters. I never knew it until I went back and read them, but legitimately, in the overarching message, and so many times it was written down, just be who you are and everything will be okay. Just be Ian and things will fall into place. be the loving, sweet boy that you are at home, and everything will be. And it was just this message of just be yourself, and everything will be fine. And it took me like 40 years to figure out who I am, and I'm still figuring it out. But like this past decade has just been very like transformative, and like who I am and what I'm about and what I stand for. And honestly, like I mentioned it before, but like there's this thing in comedy right now with this very like alpha fan base of these like monosyllabic, just complete smooth brain, inability to critically think losers that look at like life and comedy in terms of like winning and football and this and that and like sigma and beta and alpha, and it's like the gayest shit ever, and they don't realize that they are like way gayer than I've ever been.
I heard you say this before, yes.
And I'm like up against that because I go on these podcasts and then their fan base look at me like, well, he's a fucking fag and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, now what? So what? Like, well, you just got to know that you're a gay guy. And I'm like, okay, now what? And they're like, well, fuck you. The guys I like shouldn't like you. And I'm like, you are gay. Why are you caring so much about what Shane Gillis thinks?
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Tyler, you got one of the best beards in the business.
Oh,
I mean,
shucks.
it's like, look, it's still got some of your original hair color in it. It's got a little bit of gray going on.
It's salt and pepper. Thank you very much.
But it looks great, and part of that is because of you use some like creams or something.
I
right?
use all these products from the Bearded Brotherhood. I've been using these for a long time. I use a beard balm and I use a beard oil, and I use them in like a combination. It's like a layering effect, and they have this new scent. Well, it's actually a re-release called Mint Julep.
Oh, that's
it is
your signature.
It's the one. Yeah. It's the one. But yeah, I've been using these products for ages.
I don't have facial hair. I think people are telling me I should do it, but I do the cologne. Yeah. I know other people are going to want to try this, so they're going to want to go to beardedbrotherhood.co. That's beardedbrotherhood.co, and look, you're going to get there. You're going to put in the code when you're checking out ILYSM15. You're going to get 15% off that purchase and every other purchase you make for the rest of your life.
Believe it.
And that's the thing is you're going to want to go back and get more and more and more of these products because they work great. They're fantastic. Tyler, in real life, for years has used them. Mm-hmm. We swear by them. Get in there. beardedbrotherhood.co. I can't wait, Tyler, to get back to our studio, our new studio that's going to happen, because we're going to have all our stuff there again. And Night Blooms Candles has our signature candle. I've been kind of missing them in the studio, I got to say. And it's our own signature blend. It's a santal and yuzu blossom.
It's wonderful.
Wonderful. And look, these candles are hand poured in Ojai, California. We're always talking about Ojai, but these are hand poured in Ojai. And they are all natural. They're pet safe, pet friendly. And
that's Jerry here.
Yeah. That's Jerry has great things to say about these candles, as does every person who walks in our set. They smell so fantastic. The set smells fantastic. So if you want to get in on it, you can buy our candle at our merch store, ILYSMpod.com, but also go to nightbloomsgoods.com. And if you use the code there, ILYSM20, you're going to get 20% off your first purchase. And they have so many different kinds of candles. So if you're not convinced by the yuzu blossom and santal that we chose for our signature blend, they got a lot of amazing scents. I think they have some t-shirts. Go check out Night Blooms. They're such a wonderful company. We're so happy to be in partnership with them. Nightbloomsgoods.com. Tyler, I think for me, one of the best things about doing the show has been the small but mighty community that is forming around the show. And we're inviting our listeners, our viewers right now to come join us, to come be with us on our Patreon. Yeah. You can do it for free. We prefer it if you pay, but you can get ad-free episodes. You can join the community. We're having discussions. Yeah. Patreon only content.
Yeah, some BTS stuff. Definitely I'm on there starting chats as often as I can, asking poignant questions and getting into forums. Yeah,
absolutely. And we're each doing a playlist. I think I have a lot of fun with that. In the back of my mind, I've always wanted to be like a rock critic or something. So it gives me a little bit of space to like throw some songs out there that I like and talk about stuff. So, we are patreon.com and we're ILYSM pod on Patreon. Even if you don't want to check it out, any of our Patreon listeners already, we love you so much. You are the backbone of what we're doing, and to form this community, and hopefully it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because these conversations are important. They're fun, and we're just connecting and feeling less alone in the world.
Community.
listening to you talk about your dad's letters to you, it brings up to mind something else that you said in your set that kind of that I've been thinking about for the last couple of days. Like you were talking about your like negative self-talk and your like hate for yourself. You were like, oh, it's imprinted in my brain. I don't remember the exact words you used. And I wake up every morning and it's just this litany of shit about myself.
Do you wake up in the Thunderdome? I wake up in the Thunderdome, man.
Dude.
It's a fucking melee every night.
Well, fucking
sweat-soaked bed.
Oh yeah. Do you sweat in your bed too?
Dude, I wake
Me
up
too.
in puddles, man.
I can't have
my
a
partner's
partner.
like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, it's bad.
Dude, literally, I've been told like you really twitch and shake and look like you're going
I
through a
sleepwalk
lot.
and sleep talk every night of my life.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, one time in X, we recorded us sleeping because they have that app that can record like your snoring or whatever. And it was so scary. First of all, it was me. The first thing we caught was me going, "Who are these people?" And then the next thing was, "Did they pay to get in here?"
Yeah. I have that app where like it's triggered by any sound. It's fucking spooky hearing yourself talk back in your sleep, man.
Yeah, and then it labels what it hears. So that was labeled angry Jew.
Smart. It struck me because I think we all struggle with that, with negative self-talk.
Yeah.
Tyler's a very successful actor and, whatever, and a, dad and, so successful. He struggles with it. I've heard Stella talk about it. I talk about it. And I was just struck by looking at you up on stage and being like, this is such a distillation of like what so many people would want to be. And I think like you are like so good at it. And I think I remember I was standing there after the show and you're in the merch line selling t-shirts and there's just people lined up and you can see the look on their faces. Like they love you. They think you're awesome. And then you go and have negative self-talk.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart.
Oh man,
He's gonna cry.
oh, you're very sweet. No, it's okay to mask.
No,
how you
we
really
love you.
feel.
Yeah.
I don't know
Your
why it makes me
tears
cry
so that we
because
feel sorry
I
for
do.
you.
I think
That's
it
okay.
resonates with me too because I get people all the time being, "Oh, Reed, you're awesome. You're this, you're that," and then I'm like, not really.
Yeah.
If you dig down deep, which I don't do, you won't.
No, I understand why that makes you cry, man. It's heartbreaking to think about how many of us
Yeah.
hate ourselves.
Yeah, because
and
it's
we
like-
can't see ourselves the way other people see us ever,
Yeah.
and that's heartbreaking. Like I'll never be able to look at me the way you look at me, or the way you're looking at me.
Yeah.
And I only know what I know.
But I live in fear of seeing myself how other people see me because then I feel like that'll get rid of my I never want to be not okay, but I never want to be think that the work is done or I never want to rest on my laurels.
Yeah.
I totally understand that too.
But the thing about hating myself and this negative thing, that's something I've spent decades dealing with, and maybe it would be best to add this into when I talk about it. But I've now, through dealing with it, and I think something in order to get through it is I've had to make friends with it in a way of when it does crop up, be like, "Oh, there he is again. What's up, dude? King Dickhead's back in town." Rather than listen to it and go, "You're true. This is true. You're right. I am a piece of shit." Because I give me any excuse to hate myself, and I'll grab onto it and live in it.
It's the shits, man. And you feel yourself latch onto the thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it feels like a choice. I'm choosing to go down this fucking path, but it's not. I can't.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say I personify my fucking inner dickhead as well.
Yeah.
And basically say hey, thanks, man. I know what you're here to do. I appreciate it. You've been a tool in my life, in more ways than one. And I don't need it right now, But it's a crazy this fucking.
Well, I mean, Reed, do you feel that way sometimes too? Do you ever think because this is the only way I've been able to navigate life is through almost this fucked up sense of gratitude of well, these things happen and I let it define me for so long and I let it tear me down and I obsessed over these things. But now I'm finally enjoying who I am and loving the life that I have for the most part. And all those things have made me who I am. So I almost have to be thankful for it. And I have a fear of not what if I feel finally good one day? But it's I don't know, that stuff keeps you in my toes in a way. And it's I'd rather be, I don't know, clawing my way through a forest to see the beautiful shoreline than to just be walking around with no scrapes on my foot or nothing and just, and then be I don't even feel like going to the shore. It's whoa, what adventure is this going to take me today? I don't know. I have to look at it that way. Does that relate to you at all?
Yeah, of being of needing the struggle to feel things. I mean, is that? I mean, like, I guess I don't think about it that way. I mean, because it almost sounds like you're like, oh, I have gratitude for everything that brought me to where I am because I'm in a good place. And I talk about having gratitude, and I like tell other people they should have gratitude.
Yeah.
But then I probably struggle with the gratitude with myself, and even on stuff that's like undeniably good, like my kid and like or you whatever. It's like I certainly love her and I have gratitude, but I don't know that I exist in the way that I would want to. And I certainly don't feel like I have gratitude for like the hard things in my life. Like I'm not like, Reed, thanks for being overweight for 30 years. That's really, you know,
you honestly,
really gotten you to a good place.
But you honestly could be. That's the funny thing is like you can find a way to flip that and be like, hey man, this body got me through all of this.
Yeah.
I love this body. Like this body has done a lot for me. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's hard sometimes to love it all, but you can.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you something though, like because you were just saying you want to get deeper.
I was just saying that. I didn't mean it.
Just on the surface. No, I don't deflect. I want to know what your biggest negative invasive thoughts are. What are the cycles that you go down when you're relating to Ian and me about having these negative feedback loops? What are your biggest ones that you that crop up?
I think
in your
it
head?
goes to procrastination, like body image stuff, and just like not being able to attain whatever goals I set for myself. And it can be like, oh, I wanted to do 7,000 steps today, or I wanted to do this, or I wanted to do that.
When that
And
happens, where does your thoughts take you? Where does that thought when you recognize that
I will
happening?
even be like, and I know I'm not. I'll be like, oh, you're just the worst person in the world, and you're like, well, objectively, that's not true.
Yeah.
But I do go there, and I think my lows and the stuff in my life, I've had some trauma. I mean, my parents divorced and I was at a vulnerable age, right? And I'm not trying to undersell that, but like when I hear stuff that you've experienced and stuff that Tyler's experienced and the lows that you've had with addiction and all this stuff, I don't have that shit, right? I've kind of lived a pretty, relatively easy, good life, right?
Yeah,
and
but that's all like that's not up to anyone to decide. Like you shouldn't be comparing yourself.
Well, I do.
relative.
Well,
Yeah.
I do. Well, because I'm like, well, what do I have to add to this?
Yeah.
Because you guys can talk about
You have incredible
recovery,
perspective that we probably don't have on certain things because we all look through things through a different lens. So
Sure.
like discounting your life and your experience just because you haven't experienced, loss at a young age or some sort of struggle in this way doesn't mean you're out of the conversation. And I hope this is I view myself as like a very like disgusting person and like fat and like whenever I pass by a mirror I'm always like, look at that, you stupid, why don't you have more
I know that
McDonald's,
feeling.
you piece of shit. And like
pieces of shit.
That's a struggle that like I don't know, hearing someone else go through it could help me, So like I don't know, or like I've never struggled with the idea of like which nail to paint on my toenails, and you going through that and your experience could help me figure out how to move forward with that.
Yeah, no, it's because I had a little fungus and I was trying to cover it up so I can wear sandals.
Dude, I saw that and I was like, that's cool. Like, I really
It is
like,
cool.
That's a
The
cool
red shoes
glitter
and
toenail. Like I like when people paint like one nail or something. Like that's what I thought that was.
I was like,
that's like David Bowie.
Well, so we started doing the show and it was like summer I wanted to wear the sandals, and then I was just like, well, I don't want this like fungus out there. Well, let me just paint a toenail. And
I
so
like
it's like,
that.
I got these 4K cameras pointed at me. Like I'm kind of
dig
image
it.
conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the toenail.
Thank you.
So it sounds like the deepest chasm you go into is the I'm disgusting. I'm a bad person. I'm not a good person.
I mean,
Do
or
you
just
go down the
like a
I'm a piece of shit, I'm
non-functional,
disgusting kind of route?
a little bit.
Because I can relate to that so fucking like the language I use to
I don't think I use the language you're a
awful.
piece of shit. I think I go, yo, you're the worst person.
Dude, if I heard someone talk about a friend of mine the way I talk to myself, I'd knock him out,
right?
Right.
I would go to jail.
My partner says all the time, she's like, hey, you're talking about my boyfriend,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, right. I'm over here calling myself a fucking fat piece of shit or like beating myself up, which is like, it's
that's
funny. You were
good.
mentioning how like if you didn't have any of these things, you question sometimes if you would be maybe as successful or be as reflective or like it's not okay to be okay, right? Like that's my whole thing is like I'm terrified of okay.
Well, that's what I have to work on all the time.
boring.
Being
It's like,
okay with being okay.
I don't know how to be okay. I'm addicted to my anxiety.
Compassionate, to myself, because I can have all these loving feelings about everyone else, and then for me, it's just like daggers. Like,
but you don't deserve it.
Stupid.
Yeah,
Idiot. And it's like
my sponsor told me early on, like he heard and read some of my journal where it was like I just constantly calling myself a piece of shit, human garbage, all this stuff. He was like, I just want you to take one of those out of your vocabulary. I want you to take calling yourself a piece of shit out of your lexicon. And just all the time, even in your head, just start using something else. Like replace it with something else less harsh. Like maybe like, I was a little less courageous today than I should have been, or like, you know, and so I started doing that, this like the self-talk and the language, and gradually it did change the way I thought about myself.
It really does,
You just have to take the language.
Working on compassion to myself in therapy is like, and I can notice like and then I do this thing where, wow, a month ago we got to a place where I was like, dude, actually things are good. I'm very compassionate, and I can notice the changes that we talked about. And then the next week, I'm actually busy. I can't make it this weekend. Oh, actually, I can't make it to therapy this week. So I haven't seen my therapist in a month because for one session I was like, things are good. You don't got to work on it anymore, man.
The pink cloud, man.
You know? Oh, dude, and then now I'm just like, are you available today, tomorrow? On the next day?
I went into my NET therapist like 3 weeks ago before my vacation.
NET?
Neural energy transference. She's like a resonator. She's like a pharmacogenetic psychiatrist. What? So I microdose all kinds of pharmaceuticals to like find the right methylation for me.
Dude, one time things were so bad during the pandemic, I saw an energy healer.
Yeah.
An energy vortex healer.
Oh yeah, we live in an energy vortex.
You're talking to people who live in Ojai.
Dude, there was a massive thunderstorm and I showed up 45 minutes late. And I got there and I go, so when do we start? She goes, I've been reading your energy the whole time. And I was like, dude, you are stealing my money.
It's like a fucking snake oil salesperson, right? Like,
at the same time, I saw a fucking psychic and she gave me a bottle of her special oil and it was fucking palm olive. And I called her out on it and she was like, no. Palm olive, why you think that? No one ever say. I will light another candle, $500. I was like, okay.
Yeah, we live in woo-woo central. You have to beware of false prophets. But my NET therapist is amazing, and she connected with me in this weird resonant way. Like same thing where she's like, I read you before you got here, but I actually believe it. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but she's also a psychiatrist.
Join the club, brother.
Maybe I'm just a piece of shit. No, maybe I could be a little more.
Maybe I'm hopeful to heal.
Yeah. I could be more curious about myself. Yeah. But I went in there before my vacation. I was like, I think maybe I'm going to pull back on sessions with you, and like, I think maybe I'd hit that wall of like, I feel pretty good. And she called me on it right away. She's like, yeah. And then I've been gone for 3 weeks, and I'm dying to see her on Thursday. Like, just that fucking, you know?
You said that like a week after your confession was you're super depressed?
Yeah, that's how fucking wild the journey is with me, man. And that doesn't even need to be a week. It could be tomorrow. I could be like, I want to fucking die. It's wildly oscillating. I keep looking at you like, you get it, right? No, dude, I swing fucking wild.
Yeah, see, I'm
but also like, Ian, I've had to learn that's like, you can't grab onto the wave. You have to sort of like let it happen. It's very meditative. I watch my depression instead of participating. Does that make sense? I can kind of be curious about it and be like, I feel like shit, but I know that this is temporary. Don't believe the hype. Let it pass. I'll be okay in 2 days. Even if I'm not, I'll be okay in 3 days, 4 days, whatever.
Someone asked me a couple of weeks ago, you know, they were like, because my dad died in 93. He died 10 days after he turned 37. So he was still like in the mindset of like 36.
Yeah.
And so I've outlived him. He's about to be dead longer than he was on this earth. Like there are these weird like milestones. I was talking to someone, they're like, do you still get sad? And I was like, man, and what you just said reminded me of that. Like I can recognize the sadness and I can let it go through me rather than having it stop with me and consume me because it consumed me for so many years, decades of my life. Yeah. Just this constant wave of like sadness and grief and inability to like shake it. And it's almost like, again, I keep going back to this phrase of like making friends with it. Almost like when it comes up, I can recognize it. We do like a handshake and then I let the guy leave the room rather than hold on to him and think, well, if I squeeze you hard enough, I'll destroy you. Yeah. You know, like I can't fight the sadness. I got to make friends with it. Yeah. And I got to let him leave and go, you're going to come back. Just, you know, knock on the door. Don't just barge in next time.
Yeah, man. That's the personification of that thing I was saying. Like you got it. You just fucking shake hands. Say like, hey, I know you. Yeah. Yeah. Like I get it what you're doing, man. So it was my anxiety voice. I'm like, thank you very much. Yeah.
Like, yeah. You guys are that today. You're describing internal family systems, which is IFS therapy, which is basically like parts of you and not you. And then you look at the part instead of blending it with your entire identity. Yeah. And then it becomes.
Well, I mean, like also like it just, it never stops because it used to be like the sadness would knock on the door and come in and then be like, oh, is that a new painting? And I'd be like, what? And then Sadness would bring alcohol and drugs and sex addiction and be like, just run in the house. Sex addiction, you go upstairs and fuck. Alcohol, go to the fridge and get vodka. Go in the basement and shake.
Coke. Oh, Coke. You can do better. Yeah, man. I think this is an IFS thing, but I remember hearing this one time where like, if you're holding on to a bad feeling, let's say, and it's like somewhere it's resonating behind your left eye, and you're like, God damn it, it's fucking killing me. And then you remember that you have this whole other container to let it sort of permeate. And it doesn't make it go away, but it takes away that focused.
So you can be like, why don't you go visit the foot?
Yeah, or just go through the whole thing. Like take a journey through the whole body. Like just fill this thing up because
why don't
once
you go to my ass?
Yeah, just fucking all the way out. But it's true. Like you can sort of let it all.
Again. I gotta get the demon out.
That can be useful though. That can be very useful. No, but it's like let it almost like dilute into your system. You know, like fucking get rid of the feeling of this like this pressurized like little diamond. Yeah.
I actually do have a question, Ian, for you about comedy in general and sort of what's happening right now with what you kind of touched on it. But I know how LA comics are feeling, but what's going on in New York, like in terms of like the Marin coming out and versus like the guys on the right who like
I don't know.
Apologizing.
I don't hang out with anyone.
Oh, you
I'm
don't?
never home. I mean, if you want to know my cat's opinion, I can tell him I see those guys all the time. But like, I really like. I've found so much happiness in walking away from the being so close to comedy. You know, like the majority of my friends are all musicians or like tattoo artists or like fucking weirdos, and I hang out with them. You know, like I have been enjoying things so much more, not talking about comedy or like going back and forth with guys about, you hear about this, you hear about that.
Gossip.
It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't care.
Yeah.
They're not putting money in my pocket, so I don't fucking give a shit. You know, like, I have opinions on it, and, you know, it seems like whoever I talk to agrees with me, and maybe they're just giving me lip service, but, you know, like, it is, one thing to be sure of, though, in all this, is that, like, we are always supposed to go after the people that are in power. Like, and it's so funny because when Biden was in office, so many people accused of me of being a Trump guy and fucking Ian is alt-right because blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? No, I just like don't like Biden. Right. And I think like everything they're doing is fucking awful and like preying on our sensibilities to take advantage of us rather than showing us concrete problems that they want to solve. And then, you know, obviously I've always been like anti-Trump, and I think Elon is a fucking loser. But now that they're in power and I'm like vocal about that, all these people are like, you're a liberal cuck, you're siding up to the wrong people. I'm like, I'm on no side. No one should ever endorse any of these fucking people. No one should take up for anyone. Like, no one should, like, I had to follow Tony at the mothership being like, Elon is a hero saving the earth and immigrants should die. And then I was like, yeah, if you take up for Elon or Trump or any politician, that's way gayer than anything I've ever done. And I've like sucked 5 dicks to get to 6. And like, you know, maybe I won't be invited back there anymore, but I don't know. I mean, and I've said this, like this, and they're allowed to say that. And that's totally fine. That's what makes comedy great, is you don't say, you shouldn't say that. You just hit them back with like jokes about it. But it's just weird. It's so funny watching comedy fans like just slurp the balls of people in power and not understand that like no one is supposed to be taking up for these people. We're supposed to be tearing them down. And the fact that people are so willing to talk about how great some fucking guy that wouldn't dare to breathe the same breath as us it's so gross. And it's, you know, I don't know. But I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks that. I'm not like original in that, you know. We just have to be careful on everyone agreeing with like that and not, you know, putting too much weight on this side rather than this side. Like you always want to stay like with the rooms. You want to stay in the middle of the beam.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
You never want to be on
the beam, dude.
Too heavy on the other side. You always want to be at the center of the beam, no matter what.
Unfortunately, balance is not
Oh, dude.
this country's forte.
No. Well, even for us, because we're all such fat sacks of pieces of shit. We're so fat.
Fucking losers. Fucking losers. All three of us, man.
No, I don't know.
It's been the Three Fat Guys podcast. Yes.
It's been interesting though. Like I never ever subscribed to the idea of like you can't say anything.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can. You just got to fail at it and then make it funny.
Yeah.
And that's like what the
Just
fucking
be
job
smarter,
is.
man. Just
Yeah.
say smarter shit.
But
Yeah,
it is crazy to me how stupid people are. Like I posted a clip of this guy during a setup. I was like in a very vulnerable moment in my set, talking about my experience of like figuring out where I'm at with my sexuality, and I like paused and I'm like, dating men has actually made me appreciate women. And this guy's like, gay?
Yeah, I saw that guy.
And I
fucking
like
awesome.
flipped out on him because that's like not the time for that. And there are so many like fucking losers that are like, oh, well, comics can't take jokes anymore. It's like, what's the joke?
Yeah.
Like
Right,
make
yeah.
the joke, great, but what's the deeper joke?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
That clip was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
by the way.
and
I
if
loved it.
that happened to one of your fucking gay little heroes, you'd be like, people need to respect the craft and the art of comedy. Blah, blah. It's insane, man. People are so dumb. It's crazy how they just don't see what's going on. It's insane how people don't see I'm the only person who's ever been right.
Right.
I don't
Yeah. We're all starting to get it. I'm getting it. I get it. I'm late, but I get it.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like so wrong all the time. Like that's the thing. I get weary hearing like, about myself because I'm like, well, I'm going to fuck it up. I have really bad opinions sometimes. I'm wrong. But
Man,
I try to be honest about all that because I think that's the most human thing you can do.
Well, that's our whole mission statement for this show. Was like, look, man, we're just trying to be better. I never want anybody to think that I'm up here like preaching or espousing truth.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm just like trying to learn.
Yeah.
And like having on guests like you and some of our guests in the past, like there's shit. Some shit is hard to say, to ask, or to put a public opinion out there, or to make an opinion public without fear of like getting fucking pummeled.
Yeah.
So I applaud you for being like fearless in putting your opinions out there, being like, I don't know if this is
appreciate that.
right or
Thanks.
wrong, but like it's a conversation to be had.
Yeah, but I'm feeling better being
punch in the face.
like feeling prouder going to bed at night, like knowing I've done everything I feel is right.
Yeah.
And as long as I can do that, then that's all I can ask. Like once I say something or act a certain way, someone can take it and put it how their stink on it, but that's like on them. Like I can't
for sure, man.
do anything but try to be as righteous to myself as possible and just go back to those notes and know that there was a guy that loved me enough to tell me to be myself.
That's
all the
beautiful,
time,
by the way, man.
you know?
Having the like physical evidence and
Yeah.
like and being able to see a pattern that maybe you didn't see. Like,
Yeah.
that really struck me, of like just like unwavering support of your dad and like who you are. That's
Well, my
lovely.
mom too, man. Like
Oh,
for,
sure,
for all
yeah.
our, like thorns on the roses, like that woman, like she's earned her angel wings 10 times over for, it's so weird. Like looking, like, I don't know if you guys can, if your parents are alive or whatever, but just like one day kind of seeing the life on their face.
Yeah.
And then it's just been me and her, really. I'm an only child. And it's like, it's like this thing of like, you and me been through some shit, huh, Gail? It's like weird looking at it that way,
Fucking been in the trenches together,
But
man.
yeah.
Well, like I wanted to say this too. This is something I wanted to say. It was maybe going to be my confession today, but just a little like wrap up. I know we're getting close to the end. So I kind of blasted my dad on this early on, like in a way that he's aware of. Like we're aware of our problems. But I've said some shit in magazines before and things where he was like, what the fuck, man, you can't put that on. And I kind of did it again here. After we kind of buried the hatchet, I did it again, and I was a little worried about it. And we kind of, I was kind of didn't want to like ask him straight up. I didn't want to talk to my brothers about it. I just saw him in Toronto, and he was like, so I'm having a hard time finding your podcast. And I was like, oh, and he's like, but I got to see the first 3 episodes. And I was like, yeah. And I looked at him, I was like, so you watched it? And he's like, yeah, I watched it. I was like, oh. I said, look, I'm just speaking about my experience, but like, I can't hold the bag for both of us. You know what I mean? And he was just like, I don't give a shit. I don't. He was
great.
like, you do you. I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care. And it was like his way of like saying that this stuff stings me, but I support you, and it's cool for you to go out there and say that your truth. And that was huge for me. Like that's my dad and I have like been very gradually putting back together what was once a really, really beautiful relationship. So it's nice. This podcast kind of facilitated some of that. I probably should have told him before that I was going to talk about him on my podcast, but look, it worked out.
Well, you don't
And,
know.
like,
I mean, it just comes up though too.
but dads,
It's like,
man, like that feeling of having your dad be like, even if it was posthumous.
Yeah, I don't know what
you
that's
found
like,
them.
man.
Well,
That's cool.
later on though, like I'm saying that feeling of seeing back in the past.
My dad truly can't figure out how to listen to the podcast.
Right,
And
your
I'm
dad
just
doesn't
like,
know how to,
Dad, it's fine. I feel your support. It's
Yeah,
fine. I don't need you to.
Dude, that's a children's book I'm working on. Are there podcasts in heaven?
Hopefully not. I don't think there are.
No. Heaven is a place with no pain, so there'd be no podcast. Nothing.
Thank you, Ian.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
I mean,
man.
this is
such a cool
it's
thing.
It's an honor for us,
having,
truly.
I don't know, like you talked about masculinity, and it's such a weird double-edged sword because I think there are a lot of sniveling fucking losers out there that use like femininity or like masculinity as like to slip in to be like a wolf in sheep's clothing,
Yeah.
And I think having an open, frank discussion about it without the frills of like, because like you could tell you guys are genuine about it, and I do think finding like like I was always told it was okay to like cry and be sensitive and everything, and I think that's like so important.
Yeah.
I think some of it's been weaponized by like people trying to like be perceived as a certain way, but like
for sure,
having like, I don't know, there's something about having like dads talk about it that's so much more genuine and so much more real, and like such an experience that you guys can pass on to your children, which is so much better than having a bunch of guys in like man buns talking about masculinity.
Well,
like
this
a
is
genuine
real.
real
This is like-
thing, and I think that's so cool that you guys have that and have a space for that. So I'm grateful you guys brought me.
I appreciate
into
it.
this.
And
I appreciate that.
yeah,
Thank
and especially if I like a big alpha guy like me cries, it's like really,
every other episode.
No, but
You're just for me.
We're laughing at See, even that, like the laughter, like these are the mechanisms that pop up. Like, you cry, man. Fucking love it. But we're still like,
Dude, I wish I could cry so fucking bad. My antidepressants make me numb.
I kind of had that realization lately too. Like I started Wellbutrin. I'm like, I haven't cried since I started. Wellbutrin,
and then you can't be like, I stopped taking my meds. I feel great because everyone's like, so what, are you all right? Take them. You're gonna kill yourself.
We can do a big hug after the show, and if you need to cry, you can try.
Well, you
can
can fake cry.
No. I mean, I think if I have to be close to that infected toe, I will cry. So let's do it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ian. Thank you to All Things Comedy for letting us use their studio. The new I Love You So Much studio is coming soon. Guys, hard at work on it.
Tiny
and thank
Legends.
you, of course, Tiny Legends.
Legendary as always.
Oh, we love you all. And then Tyler, buddy, I wanted to shout you out. I feel like I'm so happy to be doing this with you, and you're just so open all the time.
Oh, thanks,
and I'm crying again. But
I love you, dude.
No, but I feel like you've been really like, I don't know. They just struck me the other day that I was like, man, it's so cool. Tyler just continues to do this. And
Thanks, man. I love you, dude. This is like our journey we're going on. And we said we were going to be open and honest in here, and I'm doing my best.
Yeah,
maybe sometimes too much,
and so thank you. And then Ian, we also normally we're not in our studio, so we don't have our candles, but we have the I Love You So Much candles. We Santal and Yuzu Blossom, and they're made by Night Blooms and Ojai hand poured. Cool. So we'll try to get you one of those.
We
don't have
candles.
Perfect.
Because I smoke cigarettes in my apartment.
Yeah,
it helps.
And I believe maybe available on our merch store that is kind of up, but I don't know if you can order anything. But I'm getting there on it. Yeah. And then thank you especially to our patrons on Patreon. We really couldn't do this without you. We appreciate you a lot. We got, I think, a lot more content coming in now that we're back from summer. It's like it's really going to ramp up. And we love you so much. Thank you
so much.
Bye, guys. Thank you.